excited today because we have an incredibly informative and special show. Today joining me is, you're just such a budding, talented writer. She has written an amazing series, guys. It's called The Adventures of Zolie Zi. Did I say it right, Miss Chit Chat Z? And this is the first book of her series.
Yes.
And it's called Bully Bullies. And you guys, this book about anti-bullying is creating such a buzz, and so many people are talking about this book. So Miss Bowser, we're going to be back because I want to find out how this book came about and learn a little bit more about Zolie Zi and about you.
Okay.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Here on Indie Style, we'll feature successful entrepreneurs from across the globe who are making incredible strides in their industry. You may not know their names yet, but you soon will. I'm Leah DeVon, and this is Indie Style. So Sonya, thank you so much for coming from Dallas, Texas, down to hot Atlanta today to talk about your book. And on a serious note, how did Zolie Zi come about?
Well, Zolie Zi came about after experiencing bullying on the job. I had experienced bullying on the job before, but not to the point to where it caused me to lose my job. So I ended up, it was two young ladies that found it fun to bully me every day because I didn't.
Wait, these are grown women?
Grown women.
Okay.
They found it fun to bully me every day because I didn't do the things they do. A lot of times what I found with my bullies is if you're not gossiping, if you're not putting other people down, if you're not a part of this office clique, then you're ousted. So for me, these two young ladies just kind of non-verbally bullied me, and it got to the point to where I had to approach them in the hall, and I was like, look, I've had enough of this, and I wanted to resolve it then. So they went and reported, like, I had been bullying them all the whole time, and the people over the company didn't want to hear my side of the story. They just got my little box and they fired me. And so what ended up happening was the person that's over all of them called me, and it was like, everybody knows that you don't bother no one, you stay to yourself. So they was like, we want you to come back. I said, no, if they're there, I don't want to come back. So it was really a horrible process, but that led me to feeling like I didn't have a voice and had no power, and I had to create something that would allow me to vent.
Right. Well, you've done that, and congratulations because you've done it successfessfully. Guys, this is a really good book.
Thank you.
It is such a good. When I read it the first time, I read it 2 times. Sometimes you have to read something twice to say, did I miss something? It was so good. This is a book that every young child should read. Lord, adults can read it as well, because bullying is such a huge epidemic that's happening across the world, really. And I think that young children and adults sometimes don't have a voice. And I love. Tell us a little bit how you even came up with the name Zolie Miss Chit Chat Z. Where did that come from? How did you do that?
Well, my niece, who's also has a lisp like Zolie, well, like I said, when I didn't have the power of my voice, I seen my little niece, she had a lisp, and I was like, ooh.
Because Zolie Zi in the book is being bullied by 2 girls.
Yes. I was on my job, 2 girls, and she has a lisp. And so my niece has a lisp. She's the face of Zolie Zi.
So I was wondering where that pretty girl. Okay.
She's the face of Zolie Zi. So what I did was I didn't want my niece to get bullied. So what I did was create a story about a little girl who's getting bullied by 2 girls with a lisp, and I made it to where my niece wouldn't feel so intimidated by her bully. She'd be like, well, if Zolie can do it, so could I. And that's what made me do the book Bully Bullies, about a little girl that's 7 years old like my niece was. So Zolie, her name came from a friend of mine in college. Her name was Jolie.
Because you went to Morris Brown.
Yes,
you have a background in
yes.
mass communications, and you always wanted to be a writer.
Yes.
And just so our viewers know, you actually wrote for a magazine,
yes.
and you actually wrote a book before.
Yes,
Tell us really quick about that one.
I wrote a book about self-esteem, Learn to Love Me, Self-Esteem for Children. That came about after I wanted to be a singer, and all that didn't come through for me, so I just forget it. And then I had low self-esteem, and I wanted to create something to uplift me and uplift other people. So I created Learn to Love Me, Self-Esteem for Children.
Positive people, positive books. I love, and I love. So I'm excited because I know today I'm going to get to meet your ambassadors.
Yes.
Tell us, who are these yummy little, I keep saying yummy because they're so cute, little girls that I'm seeing supporting your book. Who are the ambassadors for Zolie Zi?
Oh my gosh, I have over 15 ambassadors. But the ones who are in town for our anti-bullying event, They are Yara Shahidi from the TV show Blackish. We have Leah D. Jackson. She's a Hollywood child. We have Drew Wiggins.
Now, how did all of these people find out about this book? You are what the epitome of indie style is. You are an independent entrepreneur. You've written this book that is just outstanding, and you are getting people like Yara, you know, who is on a hit TV show, and these other, you know, celebrities to find your book. How did that come about? How are you doing that?
Wow. Well, when I see how successful the book was becoming, I started having skate-a-thons and anti-bullying events to kind of encourage the children with Zolie Zi's book. So what I ended up doing was contacting like Yara and Leah, and this one when they were like 12 years old. So
you just reached out. You took your book and you started reaching out to people and just sending them your book.
Yes, and let them read it and say, hey, we're doing a skate-a-thon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be a part of this immediately. Yes, oh my gosh, my daughter loves this book. How can we do more? So from there, that's just with those two. And then from there, the other ambassadors, they actually purchased the book online. They all started coming to me. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of, it was like chance.
And I will tell you guys, this is a really powerful book. I had the chance to speak to some of the moms of some of the young ambassadors. I mean, tiny little girls to teenagers, and it's incredibly difficult to see your child bullied.
Yes.
But it's even more powerful to see your child overcome it and figure out the right words to use and how to get help. And the question that I'm going to ask most of your ambassadors today, if not all of them, is, you know, what advice would you give to, if you're being bullied, what would you're the author of this wonderful character, what advice would you give to all those
if you're being bullied, I would just say don't let silence steal your voice. A lot of times, like with myself, you know, you feel like your voice doesn't have power. Your voice does have power. You have to exercise that power and speak up and speak out. Just don't let silence steal your voice. There is someone who will help you. There are people who care. If you don't tell, how do they know?
That's awesome advice. And also, I understand there's a curriculum that goes with this book. Can you, first of all, where's your website? How can people find you?
ZolieZ.com. That's how you can find me.
Okay, and the curriculum that comes with it, how did you do that?
Well, the curriculum is for the schools who get involved with us to help us promote the anti-bullying message through Zolie's book. So it's a 6-week curriculum, and it's based off of each chapter in Zolie's book. Wow. So what it does is it just kind of outlines ways to deal with bullying, and it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Yes.
I am so incredibly proud of you. Sonya and I have a history, and when she sent me the book and I read it, I was so happy for you. This is an outstanding book. This is something that every parent, if they can let their child read it, because children need to learn how to have a voice and how to stand up for themselves in a positive way, because no one should be bullied. I wish you incredible success, which you're already having, and as an independent entrepreneur, you are definitely doing it indie style. I'm so proud of you. I wish you only the best.
Thank you.
And continued success.
Thank you.
Yay. We'll be right back.
Not getting enough indie style? Watch full episodes at indiestyletv.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to find out who is doing it indie style.
And welcome back to Indie Style, and I am here with two very special young ladies. They are ambassadors for Zolie Zi. Ladies, introduce yourselves.
My name is Ayana, and I'm one of the ambassadors for the Hampton, Virginia area, and I came all the way from Virginia to Atlanta, Georgia to support the cause.
That's awesome. And how old are you?
13.
Wonderful. Tell us your name, love.
My name is Kiana, and I'm from Hampton, Virginia, and I'm an ambassador.
And how old are you, honey?
I'm 13.
Awesome. So how did you guys even discover Zolie Zi?
Well, my mom has saw a post, I believe it was on Instagram, and she saw the wonderful cause for bullying, anti-bullying, and I wanted to get involved. So then, my mom has a nonprofit organization called Parents Against Bullying, and the author and creator of Zolie Zi saw one of her posts, and she got in contact with my mom and asked about me and my sister.
I love that your mom is involved and that she's doing so many positive things. Have either one of you girls ever experienced bullying or ever seen somebody being bullied?
I have.
You have? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it was during after school hours, on the school bus, and long story short, I was kicked in the head for half a mile, and and the day before, she like threw my books and stuff outside of the window because they thought it was fun, and like I was looking for my my work and stuff because I left it on the bus, but people told me that people like ripped up and threw my stuff. So I'm standing here today as a Zolie Zi Ambassador and the face of Parents Against Bullying to speak up and speak out against bullying and help people that doesn't have a voice speak out.
That's awesome, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're speaking about it, because it is unfortunate that bullying occurs, at very young ages, and it's so hard because people don't know what to do. Did anybody step in when that was happening and try to help you out?
My sister.
Wonderful. Tell me your experience.
Well, I couldn't, at the time, I couldn't get to her, and then until I could get to her, it was time to get off the bus. So I had to pick her up and get off the bus, and then my mom was asking what's going on, and then the bus left.
Okay, you just said something that's so important, and I love that you said it. Your mom found out about it. I think a lot of children that are bullied, they don't talk about it because they're afraid that the bullying will continue, or they don't want their moms and dads to stick up. I'm so glad that your mom is so supportive. Tell me what your mom did.
My mom, she saw my sister get off the bus, but not me. So she was she was worried, trying to figure out what happened. So she basically helped get me off the bus, and it was just very fortunate that I lived through that, and it's very fortunate that I could turn negative to a positive.
Right, that's a good thing. And so, did you completely love the book, Zolie Zi?
Yes, I read the first time. I read it from time to time because, it basically it was like a reflection of me into the book.
Right.
So, I read it and I saw me through that book. So I actually love that book.
I like it because in the book, Zolie finally figures out that she needs to go and talk to her mom and get some help, and then her mom went to the school, and in the end, and it's interesting because our bullies sometimes actually afraid themselves and seeking negative attention a little bit. Well, I'm so proud of you girls. So, are you ready for the big question? If you could give advice, I'm going to let both of you take a second and think about it, to any young child that is out there, and it's not always young children, children in middle school and high school deal with it, and even adults can look back from when they were little and it still affects them. It's very hurtful. What advice would you give somebody who is dealing with bullying? What would you tell them?
That you should tell your parents and speak up, because it's not right to just keep it to yourself.
That's a good one. It's very important to speak up. What would you say?
I would try my best to give them advice from my experience, and I would say that it's okay to tell someone, not doesn't necessarily have to be a parent, or maybe a teacher, or somebody who mentors you. So I would say to tell someone before it goes any further and you want to harm yourself.
That was great advice, and that was great advice. It was so wonderful meeting you both. I'm so proud of you. You continue doing what you're doing and being really vocal, because we love Zolie Zi, and I love the cause that you're doing, because what you are doing will change the lives of young girls and young boys who are dealing with the same thing that you were doing. So yay, girls. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We will be right back. And I am here with Nikki Morgan. Thank you so much for joining us here on Indie Style today.
So glad to be here.
And today it's all about Zolie Zi and anti-bullying. Tell our viewers where you are from and what your role is with Zolie Zi.
I'd be happy to. My name is Nikki Morgan, and I am actually living now in Atlanta, Georgia, but I am natively from the Bahamas. I'm an academic life coach here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I founded the Sophisticated Sweethearts Girls Enrichment Program, as well as the Prosper Preparatory Youth Development Program.
I love it.
Thank you. And
Wow.
with each of those, we focus on self-esteem, leadership building, life skills, and it's hard to focus on yourself when you're being attacked, when you're being put down.
Right.
So I looked for incorporating an anti-bullying curriculum into that program, and I got to work, got online, and
did some research and I found the Adventures of Zolie Zi book. And then I learned that there's also an anti-bullying curriculum that accompanies this book, and it was amazing. I was blown away. I got on the phone with Sonya. We spoke for hours, and once I read the book, I knew that this was a perfect match for exactly what I was doing. And in addition to that, I took it home. I took it back to the Bahamas. We now are working with the Bahamas Ministry of Education, the executive, the executive counselor, guidance counselors in the school system is Miss Zoe Powell. Zolie. We were like, this is divine. And so she's now really involved, and we're now looking at getting into 26 schools in the Bahamas. And this coming June, we have a special event coming up. So we'll be in the Bahamas spreading the word, anti-bullying message. I can't wait.
I love what you're doing. Awesome. It takes a special person to do something so incredibly awesome and special. For young girls or for just young children in general, so that they have a voice and that they speak up. That is amazing.
Yes.
What you were doing. And if you could give any advice, I keep asking the ambassadors and everybody that's kind of sitting here and talking with me today, what advice would you give to a child that is being bullied? What's something that maybe you would tell them to do?
I would certainly tell them, first, it's not about you. It's about the person that is attacking you.
Okay.
So the first thing you need to do is identify an adult that you can, one, feel comfortable with, and two, feel that you can trust.
Okay.
And sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes you might think it's the parent, but in the Bahamas especially, we have a tough love kind of culture. So sometimes, the parent, the teacher might, brush it off, get over it, go to bed, come back, and
It's not always that easy.
it's not always that easy.
Right.
So the first thing that I would tell any child is to, it's not about you, it's about the other person, and to identify an adult that you can trust, that you can talk to. Definitely speak to someone about it. Don't keep it to yourself.
Wonderful. I am delighted that I met you today and that we had a chance to meet you and share your story and all the wonderful work that you're doing for anti-bullying and building children up. I think it's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Keep doing the good work that you're doing.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We will be right back.
Are you still doing it indie style? To be a guest on our show, visit our website today at indiestyletv.com.
And we are back on Indie Style with two more awesome, outstanding Zolie Zi Ambassadors. Ladies, introduce yourself and tell Atlanta where you're from.
Well, my name is Sydney K. Green. I'm the Atlanta Teen Ambassador, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. What's your name, beautiful?
My name is Jai Patricia Lee, and I am from New York.
Wow, you traveled a long way to come and support Zolie Zi. How did you guys get involved with becoming ambassadors for Zolie Zi?
Well, I actually, due to my community service, I got chosen, and from my bullying story.
Share a little bit, if you would. Tell our viewers what you've experienced with bullying.
Well, I was like in 3rd, 4th grade, and I got bullied a lot on how I looked and my size, but I was determined to let nobody tell me what I could or could not do. So that's why I stand here as an awesome young lady that I am today.
Yes, ma'am. I love that. That's important. Awesome. What about you?
I'm here with Zolie Zi because I have also a bullying experience. And my bullying experience is that people made fun of my size and called me mean names and things like that.
What is wrong with your size? You are just perfect. Did you know that you're perfect?
Yeah.
Good. I want you to know that you are absolutely delicious and you are perfect. Okay? And so what did you do? We were talking earlier with some of the other ambassadors. Did you girls tell someone? What did you do?
Well, I told a responsible adult, which was my mom.
Wonderful. That's important because sometimes kids don't feel comfortable talking to their moms and dads, but do you think that, if you had to give advice to somebody, do you think that that is the most important thing to do? What did you do when you had your bullying episode?
Well, I also told my mom, too. I told my mom.
And I bet your mom stood up for you, didn't she? Because
Yes.
that's what moms and dads do. I always say they have your back. Have you ever heard that? Your moms and dads always have your back?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am so proud of you girls. I love that you have a voice and that do you realize that you are helping other young girls and boys who have a problem with bullying? So I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. My heart is heavy today, but in a good way, because it is sad that children experience bullying, but I'm so proud of young ambassadors. I love ambassadors. You know, it's a powerful word, right? Ambassadors. who are standing up for bullying. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us here today on Indie Style. We'll be right back. And we are back on Indie Style. And today we are talking about anti-bullying, and we are so excited about Zolie Zi. What a wonderful book to impart and for young readers to learn about anti-bullying. And I'm here today with 2 more ambassadors. You guys, how exciting. I've met like 6 amazing girls today sharing their stories. This is Leah Jackson.
Hi guys.
Where are you from, my love?
I am from Los Angeles, California.
All right, the West Coast. You came far to support Zolie Zi.
Yes.
And this other young lady is Yara Shahidi. And we, of course, recognize you from the hit show, Blackish. You play Zoe.
Yep.
And congratulations on your success, my love. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I am so excited because these 2 young ladies are also ambassadors for Zolie Zi. So tell me, how did you even discover this book?
Well, every year I choose an organization to work with, and instead of like giving a Christmas gift, I'll make a card and send it to my family saying, hey, we donated this much in your name to said foundation. So like when I found out my aunt had breast cancer, we did the Chicago Breast Cancer Research Foundation. But we're looking for another one, and Sonya actually reached out to us with the book, and after reading the book I was like, this is the perfect one.
Right.
Yes. So that's how we got involved, and then after reading the book we went to one of the skate-a-thons in Texas.
Okay.
And now this is the second event that I've gone to, and we're about to go to the Bahamas.
Awesome, I heard that. I'm so excited for you guys. So, Leah, how did you get involved with Zolie Zi?
Well, Miss Sonya contacted us, and she was like, hey, can you guys look at this book? And we read it, I read it, and I was like, I love this book. And so I went to the first skate-a-thon in Dallas as well, and this is our second one that we're doing here in Atlanta.
So tell me, it's so interesting just to kind of hear everybody's stories and how everybody feels about bullying, because it's going on in epic proportions all over the world. So let me ask you, what advice would you give to young children, especially, that are dealing with bullying? What advice would you give to them?
Well, I think a lot of times kids try and prove themselves to say, I can withstand it, I can do this, I can do that. And I think one thing that they need to understand is that they shouldn't have to withstand nasty comments or physical bullying or cyberbullying. It doesn't matter how small it is. It could just be like somebody making a comment on an Instagram page. They shouldn't have to stand any of it. So to understand that they have a support system and no bullying is too small or too large to report. Because, I mean, that one comment can then turn into a series of comments. It can turn into verbal abuse, and then soon kids feel as though they're not good enough. So we can nip it in the bud when it starts versus feeling like, oh no, it's nothing. I should be able to take it.
I agree. That's really good advice. What about you?
I just feel that, never keep silent about being bullied. You just have to tell someone. It can be anybody that will listen to you. And like Zara said, never feel like you have to deal with it alone, because everyone has probably dealt with it in their lifetime, and we always kept silent about it, but we never actually projected that why we were being bullied, why we felt this way. And we can always feel down, and nobody will ever know if we don't speak out about it. And it's just to always take the initiative to say something, or if you see it, just always say something. You're the bystander, and if you don't say anything, you're also being the bully as well, because you don't help that person out.
Great advice from 2 amazing young ladies. I'm so proud of what you're doing, because this is important work, and a lot of children, they don't know what to do, and really negative things can happen. So I'm glad that you are supporting anti-bullying, you're supporting Zolie Zi, because this is such a great book. It's easy to read, and it really explains what you should do. So thank you so much for your time, and we will be right back.
There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking. I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another, always gonna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Oh yeah. Sometimes I'm gonna have to forget about how fast I am. The other side. Hey.